Hey guys, how's it going? Tony Sek over here, and today I'm going to be covering part 2 of becoming the leader that your audience needs and wants by following 3 simple steps, right? So step number 1 would be understand the use of persuasion, right? So there is this book titled The One Sentence Persuasion Course by Blair Warren, where he basically talks about how people will do anything for those who encourage their dreams, justify their failures, ally their fears, confirm their suspicions, and help them throw rocks against their enemies, right? So starting with encouraging their dreams, you cannot only understand, well, you don't only need to understand your audience's dreams, you also need to encourage those dreams, within the movement and within the offer that you're creating. Why? Because, a very simple example of this would be, imagine your audience is a kid with a dream, right? What happens the vast majority of times is that a lot of people that are close to that kid, family, friends, etc., tend to discourage that dream, right? Tend to discourage that dream and, encourage that kid to, instead of pursuing his or her dreams, just, stick to what's safe, stick to the safe zone, stick to something that's reasonable. And a lot of the times that kid gives up his or her dream because of that, until that kid meets that one person that, believes in them and encourages their dreams and makes them see that it's actually possible and it's not that crazy, right? I mean, think about it. Who is that kid going to listen to? Their close relatives, friends, family members, or that stranger that believes in them, right? That's encouraging their dreams. Second off would be justify their failures, right? So chances are that if people are coming to you, looking for a solution, is that they've gone to other people and they've failed, right? And what you want to do is grab that failure and blame and take it off your audience's shoulders and put it on the old opportunities, that basically, they tried in the past and failed, right? You want to take that, like I said, that responsibility and failure, take it off their shoulders and put it in the old opportunities that they tried in the past. Why do you want to do this? Because, let's be extremely honest. Nobody likes to take the blame on things. The vast majority of us don't like taking the blame or the responsibility of the things that happen to us, right? Even though we should be responsible, and take the blame for the things that happen to us, in order to have a control, of our own lives, reality is that a lot of people just simply don't like doing this. And what you want to do is, grab your audience, tell them, hey, don't worry, before you didn't have the appropriate guidance, you didn't have the appropriate tools, you didn't have the appropriate, knowledge and know-how, in regards to how to do this, or how to, lose the weight that you're carrying around, or start that online business that you want to start, right? So it's very important that you really, take that into account, right? You want to take the blame off their shoulders and put it on, like I said, the old opportunities that they tried before. Now, the third thing is ally their fears. And by ally their fears, I mean, you want to put their fears at rest and give them hope. Now, it's very important that you understand that you won't be able to succeed on this, right? You won't be able to do this by just telling your audience, hey, don't be afraid. By telling your audience how you feel, you cannot expect them to feel that way, Just by telling them how to feel, you simply can't expect them to feel the way you're telling them that they should feel, right? And how do you actually ally their fears? Simple. You work with your audience. You work side by side with your audience, right? So a simple example would be, if you're working with people, and well, in my very case, I'm helping people, either start their online business from scratch or grow their current business, right? And if someone tells me, hey Tony, the thing is that I'm not very good, in front of the camera. I just simply can't put my face out there. I'm going to sit down next to that person and tell them, hey, let's record your first video. Hey, let's do this, let's do that. I'm going to be your accountability partner and I want you to record 10 videos, one per day for the next 10 days, right? I'm going to be checking them, seeing them, and giving you feedback, regarding those videos. And that's actually the way you do it. You do that by providing them with support, providing them with stories about yourself, how you overcame those fears, by also giving them evidence of what really works. That's how you do it. Because like I said, you cannot expect someone to feel a certain way by just, by the simple fact that you told them to feel a certain way. That just makes no sense. It's like when people start, freaking out and you tell them, stay calm, they're not going to stay calm. On the contrary, they're going to freak out, right? It's something similar to that. Then the next one was confirm their suspicions, right? So, there's a lot of skepticism out there. I mean, skepticism exists, and people are going to have a lot of skepticism, towards your offer, towards what you're doing, towards what your competition's doing, and they're really going to think about it before they take that first step, right? So what you want to do in that case is confirm their suspicions, right? Suspicions that at some point you had, right? Suspicions that you had and that you simply overcame, right? So because there's no better feeling than the I knew it feeling, when someone confirms a suspicion and the other person says I knew it, that feeling, it's great. It's a great feeling, right? So as an example, when I was looking to enter this online business universe, I was extremely suspicious about all the gurus, the make money online gurus, the get rich quick gurus, right? Why? Because I was extremely suspicious because I simply couldn't relate with them, The typical, video with them, holding a phone and walking around, holding their phone and recording a video with a freaking Beverly Hills mansion in the background and Lamborghinis and Ferraris there in the background. I simply couldn't relate to that, and of course I had my suspicions because I was like, yeah, I mean, that makes no sense for me. I mean, I really can't relate with that, and it can't be that easy. My suspicion was, it can't be that easy. It simply can't be that easy. They're simply sugarcoating this whole thing in order to clickbait, well, to use it as a bait, right? But when I met my mentor, and when he confirmed my suspicion, and he told me, hey, it's possible, but it's going to be hard. It's going to require tons of work and effort, and you really have to put your sweat and blood through it, right? You really need to work for it, and it's going to take time, right? Boom! The moment he told me that, I was like, aha, I knew it. He confirmed my suspicion, right? So that basically takes any type of skepticism that I had towards him, and you know what? I'm going to start taking action, boom, and doing this, right? So that's the exact same thing. You want to confirm your audience's suspicions, right? And like I said, if you want to start an online business from scratch, for example, it's not that easy. It's not that easy. I mean, it might be simple, but that's not. That doesn't equal easy. It takes time, it takes work, and it takes tons of effort, right? And finally, you want to help your audience throw rocks at their enemies, right? You want to create this us versus them movement within your offer, within the brand that you're creating. Why? Because as sad as this might sound, and as unfortunate as this might sound, nothing bonds people better than having a common enemy, right? Than having a common enemy. So, you want to just, you want to tell your audience, hey, I have this enemy, and it turns out that it's their same enemy, and let's fight against him. It's us versus them. You want to create that because that's going to not only create a bond between your audience and you, but it's also going to strengthen that bond, right? So for example, let's say an enemy, I'm going to put this as an example. An enemy, in my case, would be, I don't know, staying stuck for, your whole lifetime in a 9-to-5 job, right? Let's say that's the enemy. right? Staying your whole life stuck in a 9 to 5 job, depending on what your boss tells you, depending on not having time freedom or financial freedom. I want to, my enemy actually is not that 9 to 5 job, is the fact that everybody tells us that the 9 to 5 job is the only way one can make a living, right? It's the only way one can survive, and that's not true. So that's my enemy, and I'm going to tell my audience, hey, let's fight against that. Let's fight against that belief. When you create that us versus them movement, you're standing strong on what you believe. You're standing strong on on the things you support. You're really, you're showing and really telling your audience why you're different and why you think the way you think, right? And that's extremely important because, like I said, a common enemy strengthens up a bond, right? Then that was step number 1. Step number 2 would be you have to care a lot about your audience. And by caring a lot about your audience, I mean, there's this old saying that says, they don't know how much you care until wait a second, how did it go? It was like, it went like, it went like this. They don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. Boom, that's how it went. So basically, you want to do this, and actually what I'm doing here, creating these videos and all that is because what I really want to do is help people out. I want to help people out create that online business from scratch. I want to help people out, scaling their current businesses. I want to help people out because, I consider, that there's a lot of people out there just like me that, have that raving passion, have that raving, willingness and energy to do something. And, I know that there's a lot of people out there and at the other side of this lens that, feel that they're extremely capable, but simply, just don't take the first step because they don't know how to, or they just don't know where to start. So I'm tackling that because I really want to help people out. That's my main priority. By providing valuable content, I'm helping people out, and that's my main objective here, right? You want to care about people a lot, right? And as time goes by and you develop your business, what's going to happen eventually is that you'll start charging, you'll start charging for your services. And the reason you want to charge for your services is because, if you give something out for free, people are not going to really take advantage of that, and people are not going to, really care about what you're doing. People are not going to give, that value to your service because it's free. They're going to take it for granted, right? People are going to take it for granted by the simple fact that it's free. And you don't want that, right? You don't want that. And there's actually another saying that goes then, when people pay, they pay more attention. And the more they pay, the more attention they pay, right? If you invest in yourself and you put in, and you put your hard-earned cash up front, to buy a course, to buy a program, to go to to an event, whatever, to pay for a mentorship, you're investing hard-earned money that nobody gave it to you. You earned it and you're investing it. So you're going to pay more attention rather than if that mentor, that you're paying for, instead of you paying that mentor just tells you, yeah, no, whatever, it's free, you're going to take it for granted, and that happens a lot. So just take that into account. And the third and final step would be offer value to their, you want to offer value to your audience through the perceived relationship that they have with you. What do I mean by this? You want to offer value through your offer. You want to offer value to your audience, through your content, through the things you're doing. But you want to offer value, and you want to give your audience the opportunity, the chance for them to perceive that value that you're offering however they want to perceive it. You cannot impose value to people. What do I mean by this? I like to use the example of success, of the definition of success. We all have our own definition of success, you know. For some people, you know, success is making $1 million, or for some people, success is driving a very, you know, $250,000 car, a very nice, fancy car, right? Or for some people, success is being able to eat whatever they want without gaining weight, right? You know, for example, for me, success, the definition of success is to be able to do what really makes me happy and what fulfills me on a daily basis. For me, that's success. But that's my definition of success. I cannot impose that definition of success on other people. I just can't. I can't, right? So that's basically what I mean by that, right? You want to provide value, but you want to let your audience be the ones who perceive that value however they want, right? So guys, that's been it for this one. Hope you liked it, hope you enjoyed it. You know, if you did and you know you find this information valuable, I'm creating a community, you know, through a private Facebook group, and you know, I'm going to be sharing tips, tricks, you know, ways in which you can either start your business or scale it. And you know, it's free. I'm not going to charge you for that. So join if you're interested. And yeah, that's it, guys. You know, take care and keep on hustling.